me.
What is up, everybody? Happy Monday night, right? This is where we're at. Welcome to episode, what are we at? Episode 12 of the Real Housewives of New York City. Thank you, Shantae and Love. Hello. Thank y'all so much for joining us. How are y'all doing tonight?
I think it's episode 11, but we good.
Is it 11, 12? I can't keep up. I can't count.
Yeah,
It's one of them.
It's one of the
How
two.
you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Both you ladies look fantastic. It's so good to see y'all.
And we love
Did
your
y'all-
top.
You got the all black and black crew.
Thank you.
Let's go.
I survived. I went to Beyonce this past Thursday night. I was surviving on a prayer for like the last 2 days. I was so tired, but it was completely worth it. So I'm glad to be here.
Yes. Come on.
All
you're
right,
still
well,
glowing. You're still glowing.
Thank you. Well, I was at the pool for a little bit yesterday, so that was probably that too. Multiple factors. So we are coming to the end of the season. I know that I think Shantae, you sent something in the group chat that it's going to be 15 episodes, and it looked like it's going to go to the middle of October, right? So if this
Yeah,
is
it looks like
episode 11, we got 4 episodes left. We're wrapping up to some showdowns. Obviously, we saw the beginning of a fight last week between Uba and Erin. This week, we saw the resolution, but it seems like Jessal is getting her licks in. So should be an interesting reunion. The looks should be coming out relatively soon. I know we were all kind of talking in the group chat that we want to see what they're going to wear. Like the ladies, I feel like they're going to bring it. Maybe not everybody.
Except for Sai.
But
Sai is disappointed.
I don't know. She may surprise us because her Instagram looks be killing it. It just doesn't translate to trips. So maybe it'll get it together. So we'll see. But let's jump right into it.
dress for Fashion Week. She had some.
Yeah, like she has good fashion sense. It's just maybe she like I think one of y'all said it. Maybe she's saving it for the Instagram and she can't like put all her pieces out on the show because obviously she's in paid partnerships with some people as part of her job. So I understand that. But even still, like you should make some coin. You should be able to go buy some fashion. You should buy some fashion. So we pick up right where we left off last week. Confrontation continues in the living room. Erin and Uba are still going at it. Erin is telling Uba, "You don't talk to me that way. Get out of my face. I don't like this. This is too much." And so Uba has the glasses. She goes, "You know what? I'm taking the glasses. You can get them back in 45 minutes. That's how long you have my phone." As soon as she leaves, Erin goes into full like victimhood, like don't scream in my face. Like I've never been talked to that way. She's ruined my whole day. And I'm like, this is, yeah. In her confessional, she said, Uba is my friend. This is the first conflict that we've ever had. And this is the worst conflict I've ever been in my life. And I'm like, this is the worst? This is the worst conflict. But then in my mind, I'm like, if this is your homegirl, if this is your good friend and you've never had any conflict, why have you still refused to apologize for the misunderstanding about the phone? This could have been deaded with, Uba, you are upset. I am so sorry. I did not realize you were going to react like this. Let's squash this. Instead, it's just tears. So the ladies are going to a beach bar to get some drinks. Brynn, Uba, and Jessal ride together. Jenna tries to approach them and ask Uba for the sunglasses, and Uba says no, she can get them in 45 minutes. I'll set a timer. Jenna thinks that this is high school and really, really petty, and I don't necessarily disagree, but also I'm kind of living. In the car, Brynn is telling Uba that the delivery makes her look wrong, and Uba explains that she has a rule that she has to check in every morning and every night with her family, so taking her phone when she hadn't had a chance to check in with her family was just kind of the last straw. Back in the other car, Erin is still whining about the prank. Sai does say that if someone took her phone, she would be a little bit pissed. But Erin says she doesn't care if Uba is upset because she threw her in the pool. Again, Brynn is still chastising Uba for losing her cool, saying that she always goes low when she gets mad. And then Uba kind of says what we all have kind of been thinking, that it's completely ridiculous that you're saying I'm out of sorts when Erin has been dragging you every chance that she gets. You've had multiple blow-ups with her, but then she gets to kiss and make up with you and like everything is cool and you're still sitting here defending her. I kind of agree with this. I want to know what you ladies think about this beginning scene. Love, we know Brynn is your girl. We know that last week you were very much anti Uba's reaction because she put hands and snatched the glasses. You were very vocal about that. What are you thinking right now after this?
I'm with Uba on pointing out hypocrisy, and I honestly like when that happens more because it's kind of rare. So it is refreshing when it's just like, wait a minute, you're not talking to me like that. Didn't 2 episodes ago you was just did. I love it. So even though it was against Brynn, I do like how she shut that down real quick. Like, please don't talk to me about anything that has to do with it. You know, this, that, and the third. You know, Uba she's a straight shooter, and that it's kind of rare. It's rare to have a straight shooter like this. So she says what she does, and she means what she says, and she does what she means. So it's like, all right, you can only respect it, and that's why there's not a lot of pushback, because after Uba talks, it is what it is. She said what she said.
She's not lying.
She's not. She's not. So I thought, I mean, it was a cute effort to try and be like, maybe I was wrong, because, they're always going to try. And so it was cute that Brynn tried it with Uba, but it wasn't happening. Wasn't landing. 10 toes with Uba.
What about you, Miss Shantae?
Yeah, in the beginning scene, as they were kind of wrapping up Sunglasses Gate, I was noticing Uba's body language, how she had her hands behind her back. It reminded me of Marlo in Atlanta, when she knew that the girls would always take it, to her, slash in the face, whatever. So she also had her head behind her back in like that altercation she had with Candy and them. And Uba, I think, knew that Erin was gonna play victim, or even heard her, playing victim with the, oh, don't grab me, blah blah blah, and how she was saying later that I'm scared to be her friend, So I think Uba is kind of 10 steps ahead of these girls in a lot of ways, and she knows the games that they have been playing from day one with each other, and she's like, y'all not gonna do me in any kind of way. So
Yeah.
I just like how Uba is standing up for herself, and even though she's like losing her cool a little bit, like I don't agree with the sunglasses grab, even in that moment she's already anticipating the mess, because like I said, she's got her hands behind her back, and she's got these girls' number, and she's not afraid to call it out.
I completely agree. We get into the conversation a little bit later on with some of her background of like other people get to scream and yell. I'm not allowed to do that because of, X, Y, and Z, which I thought was a very interesting conversation, because conversations like that really don't get had a whole lot. She was literally calling the kettle black, saying y'all do the exact same things, but somehow I'm in the wrong for it. So we'll touch on that a little bit more. Back at the bar. The bar owner's pouring drinks. Everybody's passing some stuff around, and he forgets about Jessal, which I thought was funny because she was one of the first ones talking about wanting a drink. Brynn kind of says in her confessional, poor Jessal, it's, she's kind of forgettable, and I kind of laugh because the only thing that we know of Brynn is just her being a horny, like 35-year-old woman. We don't really know a whole lot else. So, I mean, I don't know what I'd rather be forgettable than pigeon-toed into one stereotype. So Sad goes behind the bar. She plays bartender. We get a little bit more of her background. She was a bartender for 10 years. She's likable right now. She's fun. She's having fun. She's giving us a little bit of background. And she's like, I was a bartender for 10 years. It was the best time of my life. And girl, the only thing she poured was fireball shots. You couldn't mix no drink. You couldn't show your skills. Not the fireball shot. The alarm goes off. No old fashioned, like nothing crazy, like a fireball that comes pre-mixed. So Uba's alarm goes off on the phone, which is the timer saying, let's give Erin back her glasses. So Jenna says like, oh, it's the timer. Erin makes it a point to say someone else's hands needs to touch those glasses before mine do. And I was like, Wait. Why? Why is that? That's interesting. But after that, she snatches the glasses and says, thank you very much, Jenna, for my glasses. And immediately goes in on Erin saying, Uba, you need to talk to me like a normal friend. And I don't understand this. I'm like, You just okay, cool. After you bum rushed her and escalated the situation, after you refused to apologize, but it's Uba who needs to talk to you like a normal friend. Okay, cool. Uba basically tells her to eat her ass. She's not one of her kids. She doesn't tell her what to do. Erin is mad that Uba called her a spoiled brat. Uba says, "You are." And then she just kind of says, "You know what? I'm not going to pussyfoot around this anymore. You're abusive to Brynn. You told all of us that Brynn was a social climber. You're fake. You're a fake friend. You're this and you're that." And so Erin, and instead of apologizing about that, goes into saying, "Well, that was months ago. It's fine. That was when we were fighting." She gets mad. She realizes that she is not going to win this fight. And she leaves the table. Jenna follows her. And I'm a little upset with Jenna because she kind of gave Erin what Erin was looking for, which was sympathy and somebody to be on her side. She says this is a place of business, and I just don't think it's appropriate to yell at people. And I side-eyed her a little bit because I was like, Jenna, is that meant for both of the ladies who were going back and forth with each other, or was that just for Uba? I want to know. They go to another part of the bar because Erin says she still wants to drink. Uba is still going at it. She's heated. She's complaining to the women about Erin being fake like her sunglasses. Erin is sitting there literally pouting that none of the other ladies have come over here to check on her. Jenna does say that she feels that she's team Erin in this, that Uba is being relentless. And Uba is, I agree, we can all agree that Uba's kind of taken it, to the nth level, but Erin is nobody's victim. She was the one that kind of initiated the yelling in the house by coming in hot down those stairs. So before we continue, Shantae, what did you take from, because you and I are on the same page. We're Jenna stands. We love this Jenna Lyons. I had to take a quick breath on this and be like, let's pause for a little bit. What did you think about this?
I had two things that I had to think through. Like, first of all, with Jenna, I am still a Jenna stan. I think she's still the fan favorite. But I remember her always saying, she's not used to hanging around girls, right? She's socially awkward. So as much as, she's not used to just chilling and being, low key with everybody, she's definitely not used to how to handle a bully, because she was definitely on the end of Erin's mean girl tactics, just like the day before, with the whole
the
flying
meal
coach
before.
gate. Yeah, so she, I think, is just going back to her awkwardness and just her values as a businesswoman. She's like, this is someone's place of business. Let's not act up in someone's place of business. I get it, but she doesn't understand what Uba's doing and standing up, to the mean girl, standing up to the bully, So I gave her a pass because she has already copped to her lack of, experience dealing with girls and mean girls and all that stuff. So I like her still, but I was annoyed a little bit with her, following up behind Erin like that when she really had every right to stand with the other girls and be like, enough is enough, Erin, And then when it came to the social comment, like, that really made me see another side of Erin that is even more sinister than the side we've been seeing before, because it's like, what Brynn went through. Like, did you want her to stay, broke, busted, and disgusted and abused? Like, why can't she rise above her station? Like, it's so elitist and actually, like, evil of her, to use that comment. And it makes me wonder, like, when people say, like, where was she on January 6th? Because it's like, people can't rise above their station. You don't want anybody to, break free of the chains of, like, oppression and abuse. It's like, why can't she climb? So I had to just really look at those comments that I kind of dismissed before, and I was just like, what? Maybe Erin's got a mindset and a value system that, like, I can't get with that all. So those were my thoughts. But what were you guys thinking?
Love.
Okay, well, first of all, Sai's starting to annoy me to the point where you just have to remind us of everything that you've ever done in your past life. Like, so now you're a bartender for 10 years. So then next you're going to tell us that you used to do retail for like Burlington. Like I'm starting to get annoyed. Like that whole segment, I rolled my eyes until I almost fell asleep. I was like, okay, Sai, we get it, girl. You had 11 jobs and you were standing on the corner and you had to sell cookies for your school books. I get it. It's just annoying.
And chocolate bars.
Like, she's so annoying. Erin, last time I checked, the timeline of an insult really doesn't matter. If you called me a cankerous whore 4 months ago, I'm gonna be mad when I find out you called me a cankerous whore in the spring. It doesn't matter. So the timeline of events, it's neither here nor there. You still called the girl a social climber. So that little segue into, girl, that was months ago. What? It doesn't matter. Let's talk about that. So Erin tries to get herself out of things, and it's just really not working. She's crashing and burning on this trip. I said, God, someone help her.
And she's using all the tears she can to get herself out of it, and Jenna fell for it. Because Jenna is more the emotional person. She's the mother. She's like, okay, don't cry. We're not going to do this. And she falls for it every time. Unbeknownst to her, it was Erin the one leading the charge against her for not wanting to fly down on the same flight as the rest of the girls. Like,
and now she's the one that you're like, I'm totally on Team Erin's side. And the way she said it too in the confessional, I said, don't be annoying. Do not be annoying.
Don't. You get one pass. You get one pass, Jenna.
You shrugged your shoulders. You were so happy to be like, I'm Team Erin on this one. Girl, were you Team Erin 2 dinners ago when it was all revealed? No one else was in the room but Erin. So that came from Erin.
Yep.
But now you're Team Erin. So I'm like, I can't. I rolled my eyes the whole time. Erin is, she's clicking, but she's clicking down.
She is. Sai definitely is giving me, I'm going to rush and tell every single story I have in my arsenal so Jessal can't do any kind of storytelling. I don't want anybody to steal my memories. I did that. I was a streetwalker. I was a street musician. I also saw, like, we get it, Sai. Okay, enough already. You poured some shots. You poured some shots. All right, so right after this, they go to eat somewhere. The ladies are seated without Erin, and Sai once again is like, guys, please stop the drama. I want to have a good trip. I'm like, girl, you were screaming at the hot tub last night, like, because Jessal was telling you about her uncle. Like, please, girl, don't be very serious right now. Uba is kind of annoyed, and like you said, she's a straight shooter. She said, yeah, well, the drama will come to an end when people stop being liars and abusive. Sai says, Uba, you're being abusive. Erin is a liar. Great, let's move forward. And that kind of got a little chuckle out of me. Like, okay, Sai, that was cute. Queen Jessal finally says what should have already been said, that Erin was the one that stoked the fire, dragged Jenna about the flight, insinuated multiple things about everybody, particularly Jessal's uncle being rich. Jessal connects the dots and says that Erin is the originator of all of this shit, and how has nobody called her out yet? Uba is upset that she was kind of pushed to this. She's saying, you Americans are very passive, and someone could stick a fork in your ass, and you're like, no, it's fine. I'm sorry. Don't do that. She was like, why are you sticking a fork in my ass to begin with to get me upset? And she has a very good point. Erin, she goes, whenever I'm getting upset, I'm pushed to my limit, I'm being labeled as the bad guy. I'm being, the aggressive one. Erin is complaining that Uba won't stop talking about this problem, which is ironic because as we've covered, every time Erin has a little bit of an annoyance with somebody, we have to hear about it for episodes at a time. Like, this is 2 hours into Uba being annoyed. Like, this girl can be annoyed. Jenna, in a confessional, says that, Uba is really, really sweet until she's not. And we get a little bit of a flashback to Uba being upset about not being told that there were cameras at Jenna's house when she was invited over. And she said, I don't mind coming over, but I don't want to show up to a place not prepared for a camera to be there. You need to let me know ahead of time. And frankly, I didn't see a problem with that. I don't think she was rude. I don't think she was mean.
I agree.
I think that she was just like, yo, you could have had me out here looking busted and didn't tell me we were going to be on national TV. Like, let me know. I think the issue is Uba has been so quiet and passive and funny, and she tells a joke that anytime she has deviated from that very amiable, get along personality, it's perceived as, a switch is flipped, which is what she talks about later on and how she's able to articulate frustration and articulate annoyance. So Uba says that she's just tired of being told that, Black women aren't allowed to get angry, that they're more aggressive when they get angry. She said she's passionate, but I'm not going to take your shit. Sai agrees, but says that this doesn't apply to this situation because Uba was wrong and Uba escalated the situation. She just wants to get on a plane and leave. Jessal says she's getting ready to flag down a fisherman. The ladies all laugh and Sai's like, that was funny, Jessal. And Jessal's like, I assure you, I'm very funny. And I'm like, yes, you are, Queen Jessal. Thank you for being here. So this little conversation, obviously I don't have a whole lot to lend to the conversation centered around, Black women being labeled aggressive, being unallowed to express aggression. So I want to give you guys the floor. What did you think about this conversation and how much did it ring true for you guys? Let's start with you, Miss Shantae.
Oh yeah, I was totally team Uba once again for this discussion because Uba was bringing up this very almost pervasive stereotype, of an angry Black woman. And she's like, listen, I'm not falling into that. I am passionate, like you said, like I'm not going to take nobody's mess. And it's interesting that, Sai was sitting there trying to tell her, how upset she could get. And she's like, listen, if you're going to come in here and stick your nose in stuff, don't say you're over people talking about it when you're going to be corrected if you come and say some ignorant mess to me, because it is ignorant, to
I like she did
police this Black woman's feelings. And then Sai, she has been getting very bad reviews online, basically from everybody. And here again, it's like she's sitting there being a mouthpiece for Erin, like this white woman that's like trying to play carrot all of a sudden. So it's like, nah, man, Sai, you're on the wrong team. You need to, calm down and really listen to what your sister is trying to tell you. And that's why they say all skin folk ain't kinfolk, So it's like, Sai acts like she's down. She acts like, she's all Brooklyn, whatever, all day, every day. But like, really, she's aligning herself with the mean girls, with privilege, with, the things that's dragging down the show. So I'm glad that Uba's there, to provide this enlightened perspective, because these things don't happen in a vacuum. We do live in a country where there are stereotypes like this, where people cannot ignore the fact that these microaggressions, these kinds of things happen every day. So if somebody is expressing themselves, you should not police that. But she does it all the time. She polices people's trauma stories. She's rejecting what Jessal is saying. She's trying to, control how Uba gets to act. But she needs to stop because she's not the boss of anybody. And again, that's why she's at the end of the reunion, because I think Annie and the network here, the fans, we're over it, That's what I think.
What about you, Love?
Oh gosh, woo, the relatability of this one. I mean, sometimes I wish like moments in different seasons can be placed in different shows. Like I kind of wish this moment was like placed in Beverly Hills with Garcelle. Like, oh God, I wish with Dorit. Like just things like that.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I got really annoyed. It made the roof of my mouth itch when Sai was in the confessional and she said, yeah, Uba was right, about Black women, being perceived as this because they're angry. But in this situation, blah, 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 blah. That irritated my soul because you basically just gave viewers and fans that little bit of, but no, even Sai, the other Black girl, said that it doesn't matter in this situation. Uba was just angry. She's just an angry Black person. I wouldn't be caught dead in a confessional or in any capacity being against any type of narrative about how Black women are perceived. So that it gave me like, ugh, I hated that. I hated that so much because I know how the fans work. I know how Bravo is. I know how the timelines are. I just know it. And I can just already see someone typing, being like, see, Sai didn't even say that she was the angry Black. Like, I'm over it. But absolutely, I agree 100%. It's literally something we go through. We can even sneeze the wrong way, and someone be like, "But was that an angry sneeze or a normal sneeze?" Because you're a Black woman, so I want to make sure your sneeze was received the right way. It's like, come on, bro. So it is something that is every day. I'm happy there was a little bit of dialogue in on it. I just wanted more. I don't know why I wish so much for her, but I wanted a little bit more from Sai.
And we see later on where Brynn starts having the same conversations as Sai, and I think that we can say in the duality of relations, we can all kind of agree Uba kind of did a lot, right? For what was done, your phone being taken, cool, maybe let's reel it in. But we have to remember, Uba was, I'm calmed down, I'm going to ignore her for the time being because I don't want to get there. Uba didn't raise her voice, Uba didn't call her out her name, didn't do anything. She woke up the next morning and said, I'm pissed off. Let me just be pissed off for the time being. It was Erin that started like, oh, I'm scared. I don't know why she's mad. I don't know what she's going to do. And it was Erin that ran down the stairs and got up in Uba's face and said, don't talk about me when I'm not in the room. Uba then tried to explain the situation. So Uba did not want this to happen. Now, it escalated. She took the glasses. We can sit here all day back and forth and say you shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, across any of the Housewives franchises, we have non-Black housewives argue, break glasses, throw things, have their husbands come in and have to restrain them. They're screaming, they're yelling in restaurants of all places. Physically fighting. Like there's never a discourse around, ooh, she was aggressive. Ooh, she's this, she's that. So two things can be true. Uba, may have been wrong for touching her glasses, but she was also 100% completely right in how she is perceived, even for being a little bit upset. And I have to take a look as an outsider and think maybe that lended to her getting more upset. Like maybe she was hyping herself up like, oh my God, I'm not allowed to do this. I'm just trying to express to her while I'm mad. She's crying. Now it's making me look bad. So now that's making me even more upset. And she's crying and she's, a simple apology would, I am so sorry. I did not realize you needed your phone. My bad. That would have dated this situation.
Literally. That's it.
So the ladies start talking about Brynn's propensity for wanting to be the center of attention. Brynn says that she learned it kind of as a way to deflect from growing up. She was pre-med apparently in school, but her grandmother said that she just needed to marry rich. We finally get a little bit of background on what Brynn does, which is consulting and PR work. She says she's very successful. And it's this stuff, Shantae, I think you brought this up a couple of episodes ago that she had to go on Instagram and was like, this is what I do. Editors are not showing what I do. I have a whole career and a whole this. So I'm glad that they left this in. But again, it's that, well, that's not what you're showing. You're showing this center of attention, overtly sexual, always trying to flirt. Like you're not talking about your business. You're not trying to collab with Jenna Lyons, who is taking this opportunity to promote brands and businesses and do what it is that she does. But this kind of made me feel for Brynn because she breaks down a little bit talking about her grandmother. And we've seen in a couple of episodes, anytime the subject of family is brought up, it will always be Brynn's undoing. That facade comes down and the real girl who has some stuff that she needs to get over, the human Brynn comes out. She said that her grandmother raised her to want to go out and experience the world. Her grandmother wanted the best for her, wanted to travel, wanted to see the things that her grandmother was not able to see. And when she talks about her grandmother, you can tell that she holds such high regard and holds such an affinity to her. This is the Brynn that I like. Get to the real Brynn. We have a flashback. Erin had left at this point. She's talking to her dad, crying immediately, and coincidentally changes how the story went and omits quite a bit. She tells her dad that she gave the glasses back in 2 minutes. She tells her dad that Uba got angry out of nowhere, was screaming in her face, and snatched the glasses off her face, and she was terrified and she had to just walk away. I'm like, that.
Such a Black woman. Oh.
that wasn't exactly how it went down. She lies quite a bit. I was like, wait, were we watching the same confrontation? What did y'all want to add anything on that other than Erin's a big fat liar?
I'll be honest with you, I kind of wanted to like do my research to see if Brynn was lying about that med school shit. That don't sound. Look, I'll let you know, because that was like, all right, maybe this is a truth. Maybe. She kind of lost me when she was like, and my clients to this day still call me, you know, for like advice. I was like, all right, now you lost me there. Now I feel like you're lying. I don't know. There was something about maybe the way she story tells. Maybe she just story tells in a voice that sounds like you're lying. I don't know. But I rolled my eyes on that segment. The grandma thing was really cute. I'm kind of over every sit down or mention of family bringing tears. Can there be funny memories? Funny family things? Like
her and Sire going back and forth on who had the worst childhood. My God.
It's like it's the struggle Olympics throughout this. So this is the most fascinating struggle Olympics housewife season I've ever seen in my life. You would think this would be the energy with Potomac, because Potomac, you know, the money ain't really there. But New York, you know, this would be Giselle Bryant Robin.
Some of the money is there.
But New York, I don't want to hear brokey stories, sad stories in New York. I don't know. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it was cute. A little nanny man. That's all I got.
What about you, Shantae?
Yeah, I think that Brynn finally got to, you know, showcase her business prowess, if you will. But it's so funny because if you watch what happens live, it was just a mess. They were just like flirting and doing all the, you know, like sex crazed antics on there, and I was just like, you're not gonna beat the allegations. Yeah, she was flirting with Andy. She was flirting with the guests. It was a little hard to watch. Like I was watching for the first 15 minutes. I had to be like, you know what? Let me go.
Listen.
Let me go change the channel while I wash these dishes. So, like I couldn't even listen to it just in the background because it was so heavy, and it's like she wants the, you know, serious edit, then she wants the flirty edit, and it's like she's not putting in the work to, you know, be the best that she can be. I just want her to look at what she's doing and course correct for, you know, next season. And then when it comes to Erin, it's like she totally reverted back to childhood, calling her dad, lying about everything to make herself look better. And that's what we saw from Since the Glasses Girl. She was lying in the moment, you know, saying how Uba was grabbing her. It's like she wants to present the image of a victim all while being the bully, and it's just not working for me.
Yeah. It definitely backfired on her. I would not be upset with Brynn if this was like a character. If she says, this is the persona I'm putting on for cameras. Cool. We need that. Right. New York needs it. We need a Sonia heir apparent. We need a Luann heir apparent. But then I don't want you on social. I don't want you on social media complaining about the edit that you're getting. Like I need you to stick with it, because in times when you've been able to give you more, like on Watch What Happens Live, you could have very much talked up like, yes, I have a PR. Go to my website, look me up online. Like this is what I do. It was just, you know, dick jokes and wanting to have sex with the guests. And it was like, okay, if you're gonna be that, that's fine, but I don't want to, like, this is what they're editing because this is what you're giving them. Like, and I don't know what else you think.
Anybody else annoyed at the fact that she's overtly too sexual and flirty with Jenna? Does that annoy anybody else but me?
No, I was going to say that. Like Jenna, I don't mind it with Jenna. I don't like it the most when it's with like the people that can't help themselves, like people trying to do their job, like the trainer. She's making sex toys in front of the chef. Yeah, the service people trying to do their job. Yeah. Like, squirt this in my mouth, put this in my tongue. You know, just like they're trying to do their job, and she's literally like harassing them on their job. So again, like if Jenna's on the cast and they have this running joke, that's different. But it worries me that she's doing this to all these people that are, you know, on set. It reminds me of Brandy Glanville territory, you know, where it's like, they could catch a case over this. She has to stop because people are not, you know, light about consent anymore. That may have flew in the past, but You cannot sit there and sexualize people, especially when they're on their job. It's too much, you know. Very, very much.
I agree. I know what you're saying, love. It's so like she's being flirty, she's being whatever. It seems a little weird. Like, okay, girl, like back up a little bit. What took it there for me was when she got out of the shower and like sat on Jenna's bed and was like, "I'm wet in more ways than one," and I'm like, this is just so weird. Like, that's so like, why would you do? It's very like queer baity, but also just like this is borderline harassment. Like this isn't a cute like flirt anymore. Like this just gross. Like why would you say that?
Exactly
That's like me like with a like gay men. Most gay men have like a straight best friend that you like. Yo, we know we're gay. We can joke around. We can never, but we know there's clear boundaries. There's respect. It's almost like me taking it a little too far. Like, ooh, well, look at that. You know, whatever. And I'm so horny for you, and if you ever like, that's just weird. Like there's some boundaries that you have to respect with people, and it's like leave that lady alone if you're not gonna fuck her, or excuse me, sleep with her. Leave that lady alone. Shit or get off the pot. My God.
And that's his square. That's his square.
Jenna is spoken for now,
square.
though. Apparently this weekend she got engaged or something, so Brynn needs to stop it now that Jenna's engaged. But when Jenna was a free agent and on the joke saying, "Oh, I'll make Brynn sign a prenup," blah blah.
Not a free agent.
You can tell it was a joke.
Marriage don't stop Brynn.
Marriage does not stop Brynn. Correct. So they're still at dinner. Again, we get a little bit of Jenna being surprisingly relatable. She says she's got money. The conversation is about privilege, about money, and she goes, "I did not send my kid to a private school. I did not want him around all of these stuck-up people who valued money in that. I sent him to public school, and even now I'm working to like not actively spoil him." She's very aware that she's privileged, very aware that she's got money, and she says, you know, her son actually is starting to tell her, "No, mom, that's too expensive. I don't need that." I liked that she said being a celebrity was a lot at first, so she was kind of reveling in people taking her picture when she would drop her kid off at school, because as an ugly duckling, she never felt attractive, so it was this newfound of like attention. But she said that got old really, really quick, and now she just wants to take her kid to school. I thought that was a nice little thing, considering Jessal was wanting to spend $65,000 per kid to send them to a preschool. They're on their way back to the house after this dinner, and Brynn, unprovoked, tells Jessal that Erin called her stupid and dumb and thinks she's not smart. Jessal is pissed. Immediately, she just starts foaming at the mouth. She was like, "Who does she think she is? I tell you what, I have a list about this one." And I'm like, "Oh, a list?" And I love the list is just like an open letter to Erin of how much she annoys Jessal. She's like, "Number one, Dill Erin, how dare you? How dare you? I went to Capriccipiani with you. How dare you?" I loved it. That is the most. When she said a list, I thought she was going to go down like she's passive aggressive, she's condescending. It was like, no, it reminded me of that scene in Jersey Shore where Snooki is writing the letter like, "Dear Jenny," or "Dear Sammy, when you left bed." Like, I loved it.
And then they hit it and ran and didn't say anything.
Exactly. Only this time it was Uba who like punched it, came up to the other girls and was like, "Yo, Jessal's keeping tabs on your girl." Side like she loved it. She loved that somebody else finally is seeing like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. Sai kind of clocks that Brynn is messy drunk and instigating the entire thing, and she's like, "We're sitting here trying to defuse this situation." Back at the house, Uba is apologizing to the service workers that are there for how she left. And this did not sit well with me because Erin, who is sitting around drowning the room in negative energy, throws open the sliding door and goes, "Uba, come here. Let's talk." I'm like, "Hold on now. Who you snapping at? Who you barking at?" And Uba says, "You ask me nicely." Right. And she kind of said, "Ugh. Can we please talk?" And I'm like, who do you just throw it open this window saying, "Uba, come. Uba, come," like a dog? Listen. So, listen.
It was like Kim Zolciak and Sweetie.
It was very that. This ain't Sweetie.
This ain't Sweetie.
This ain't Sweetie. So they're sitting down and they finally talk, and she is in her confessional and she's saying, you know what, I'm ready to diffuse this situation out of the sake of the trip. And I'm like, it was you who started and escalated the situation, but okay, sure, do your big one. Uba asks her politely now, can you take your sunglasses off so we can talk? And I'm like, there we go. Okay, great. Erin immediately goes in and is, going after Uba. The way you behaved is unacceptable. The way you talked to me was unacceptable. You treated me shocking and it was terrifying. And Uba, you can tell on Uba's face, she's like, I'm staying right here. I'm keeping it right here. And you can tell how frustrated she is having to do that. She gets told to Erin, you have every right to feel this way. Erin, again, no apology in sight. It was just a prank and blah, blah, blah. You have to understand that it was a prank and I only had it. I would have never kept your phone. Still no apology. And Uba is working overtime to make sure she's not an angry black woman again. So Uba said, you know what? I threw you in the pool. That was fun. I thought it was all jokes. You threw me in the pool. I thought we were done. Erin, again, still arguing, saying, I didn't throw you in the pool. That was somebody else, blah, blah, blah. And again, we don't have an apology. So Uba saying she wants to show something on her phone. Erin is like, let's just go ahead and just finish this up. Uba says, no, let me go find my phone. She has lost her phone. She has lost that damn phone again. Walking all over the place. Finally comes back and Erin is just like, let's just finish it. She said, Uba, no, I want us to have this conversation when I show you something. And so Erin says, well, I don't want to see it. Let's just finish it. Uba said, okay, well, conversation's done. And like the victim that she is, Erin stands up and tells Sai and the girls, I tried extending an olive branch. She doesn't want to hear it. Brynn finds the phone. It's left off in the little car. And she brings it over to Uba before we get into this final scene. Ladies, what did you think of Erin once again trying to get an apology out of somebody who don't owe them a damn apology? Love?
Well, speaking of Erin, I wanted to just sit and chuckle with you all with her Long John Silver flashback of her in seventh grade.
Long jaw.
She says it feels like bullying. Back when I was in high school, I was like, oh Lord.
Did we take it back to seventh grade?
And it showed a picture of her, and that lady did not have a long jaw. I'm like, is the jaw in the room with us?
Because production will run back.
Production would have found that picture.
They would have found a picture. They definitely would have found it. Jessal turned into Bernie Mac in that cart. She dropped so many motherfucker. I said, who is this? Oh my God. She was mad. And her list, she's like, you bother me once, it's a mental note. You bother me twice, it's in my phone. I love that.
In just a long form letter.
It was so cute.
She was so mad. What about you, Shantae?
That 3 minutes with Jessal in the back of the cart bumped her up to. She's up there. She's clicking up for me.
I love it.
She's clicking up for me after this one scene and this one. I live for Jessal. I will get her.
Shantae?
I felt like when she was in the pool on her phone, I think she was adding to the notes to be like, oh, I found out that Erin called me stupid today. And she thinks I'm a trust fund person. I know she was writing more in that e-burn book. It was amazing. I love Jessal. I think that it's actually good practice, though, to get out your feelings and journal. I think that's probably why she's going to do very well at the reunion, because she's been documenting everything. You're not going to be able to, sway her or fool her. Yep, she can take out her notes, So I'm here for Jessal's notes. I was thinking it'd be more like Marge's arsenal, like she dug up stuff about Erin's past. That's what I was thinking from the preview. But it really is just like her personal grievances and feelings, which is fine. But it is harmless, it's not like how they do in Jersey, which is what I
So
was
far.
thinking,
So
Yeah,
far, it's
so
harmless.
far,
They
they
only on
haven't
season
done
one.
those
They only on first
Jersey
season.
tactics, yeah. And then as for Erin, oh god, I just feel like she wants, to be in control of everything, and it's good that, Uba still kind of held her accountable in the moment. I felt like Uba wanted to show her texts from her family being worried about her,
Yeah.
right? But just the
Yeah.
fact that, Erin didn't want to listen, it just shows that maybe she was making up for a show, because in reality, it probably would take longer than a day to just get over, if she was that scared and that upset by the sunglass grab, she probably did need more time. But because it was the last day of the trip and maybe production was pushing it, I think the making up was fake. And you could tell, which is why she was impatient with Uba, wanting to show her whatever on the phone. So I don't buy Erin really wanting to move forward with Uba, apart from it just being for the cameras,
Mm. I agree. I mean, it's again, what you guys have said. Erin will not accept an apology unless it's spoken, recited, presented in the way that Erin wants the apology presented. All right, so we're wrapping this up. Guys, really quick, if you have not already, please click that like button, click that subscribe button. In just a few moments, we're going to post the link for the call-in lines. Come on in. We have a lot of discourse about Team Uba, Team Erin, who was right, who was wrong. Call in, let us know. We'd love to discuss this. So as we wrap this up, they're in the pool, and everybody's still hot. Brynn is drunk and takes this time to air out her grievances about Erin. She's mad that she called her a slut. The topic of Abe comes back up again, and they get into it again. This is what I was kind of like on side when she was like, "My God, again!" Like, we're talking about this again. Like, can we just stop whining and have a good night? Miss Jessal is over there chugging her rum punches, waiting to get tagged in so she can say. Jessal finally tags in and just says, "You know what, Erin, you don't own your stuff. You don't ever apologize. You continue instigating some stuff, but you never you never say I'm sorry." We caught at the table earlier where Jessal did tell Jenna that it was Erin who was instigating the conversation the previous night about the flight and everything, and Jenna didn't really seem to care that much about it. But Jessal is, this is what you're doing. Erin apologizes to Brynn, but then completely backtracks and says, "But you are a social climber, and I did call you that a couple of months ago, so it's not that big of a deal." Uba then interjects and says, "But wait," and Erin just goes off on her. "Shut up. You're such a bitch. Stop talking. I don't want to hear you." And Uba stands up, starts cussing at her. Sai is in the back saying, "This feels like a gang up." And I'm like, "But you were leading a gang up on Jenna like last dinner, so okay." Erin weaponizes her tears and immediately starts crying. And this is where I get pissed off, because she doesn't have anything else. She doesn't know how to communicate. She doesn't know how to talk. She doesn't know how to apologize. So she cries. And like clockwork, Uba feels bad. Goes over, because Uba's not a monster, goes over to her, wraps her arm around her, and just was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Everybody then just kind of is like, "I'm sorry. Okay. I can tell you've reached your limit." And I'm like, nobody felt Jenna reached her limit. Like, even when Jenna started crying, everybody was like, "Aw, you're sad. You're crying. What's wrong? Why are you crying? Don't be sad." Right? Like, my God. So once again, Erin is wanting to try this apology. She asks Uba, "Please, let's come talk." Brynn is saying, "Do I feel bad that we're ganging up on Erin a little bit? Does she deserve it?" Absolutely. And I'm like, yeah. So again, it's right off the bat. Uba, I think, is tired of it. Uba jumps right into apologies. Uba's like, "I'm sorry. Escalated this," and Erin still will not shut up. "You hurt me so bad today, and it's terrifying being your friend. And I've never been spoken to that way. And I love you, but I don't feel like you feel the same." And I'm like, this lady is apologizing to you, and you are still like just crying like this woman beat you up. But they make up. But the thing that I do give Uba credit for is she held Erin's feet to the fire and says, you're a shit talker. You stir stuff up. You talk about people behind their backs, and you need to own that. And Erin owned it, much to my shock. I was not expecting her to do that. This last little bit of the scene is just kind of like the girls are at dinner. They make up. They cheers. They're talking about, their outfits or whatever. It's a very frivolous little scene. Sai does tell Erin about Jessal's iPhone notes, which Erin seems a little bit upset about, and I think that's going to come out later on in the last little bit of the season, which I can't wait. So before we get into the callers, Shantae, what do you think of Apology Round 3?
Again, Erin wants things on her terms. I think she was having a meltdown, though, at being held accountable for the first time. She wanted to blame Uba. She's like, you're turning everyone against me. What do you want from me? And it was like, listen, these girls have grievances with you. Like, Jessal's notes prove, all the different times that she's gotten on their nerves. So Erin just needs to take accountability, and she kind of did at the end. But she didn't do it to the girl's face. It was in the confessional. She was saying, okay, maybe, Brynn is a social climber and Jessal is annoying. That's all facts, So again, she's conflating, her feelings with, who these people are. And it's a mindset that is just problematic. So she is going to get held to the fire at the reunion. I really want to see the reunion because all these antics are really getting on my nerves, to be honest. It's like, how many times are we going to see this Mean Girl stuff and them just, go back and forth about these petty things? So I like that they tried to lighten it up with the, outfit comparison. I did like Jessal's earrings, the little yellow puffy feathery ones. And I thought that Jenna did have the best outfit with the pink and yellow. So cute. So
that was really cute. It popped.
It was cute, right?
That was.
What do you guys?
It's good seeing her in color. It's good seeing her in something other than like khaki or white. Yeah.
That's what it was.
What about you, love? What'd you think about this?
I've made a social promise to myself with society that whenever a white woman is crying in front of me, I take a break. So I either refill my drink, I check my email, I make a phone call, I tie my shoe. I just don't engage. I'm disengaging from white.
All right, Miss Marks.
Uba, I get it. She probably was over this woman having to come to her 2 or 3 times in a 24-hour span to want an apology. So Uba, just pick and choose your battles. Yeah. Let's just dead this. I felt like it was like, I said what I said, and like Uba said, and I quote, I will be 80 years old snatching off sunglasses. That's what she said. Same. I am who I am. She's not changing. So she knew how to maneuver the situation. You know what? The jacuzzi bubbles are going to be done in 10 minutes. Let's hurry up and wrap this scene up. All right, I'm sorry. I'm good. Okay.
I think the thing, and I stand in it. Like, the thing with Erin is, I don't feel like the tears were from a place of like, oh my God, my friend hurt me. It was from, I am being held accountable for all the crap that I've talked, and nobody is defending me. All of the women are actually now airing their grievances out with me. And it's not like this pile up on Jenna where they just imagine things out of thin air to be mad about. Like, these are things you've said, done, accused. You've been nasty. You've been condescending. You've inserted your opinion where it doesn't need to be. And now that I am telling you what you've done, now you're crying. Now you're terrified to be my friend. Oh, girl.
Like, the women I made fun of aren't standing up for me.
Right?
What's going on?
It's like, what did they do that at? My God. All right, before we continue this, do we have any callers currently on the line waiting in queue? I know we dropped the link. If not, we will wrap this up with some final thought. Oh, Naji just threw this caller right in.
Surprise!
Hold on.
Hey guys, hey Fave.
How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. How are y'all?
We're doing better than Erin.
Okay. Before I get started, Shantae, I just wanted to say this to you because I have a homegirl named Shantae, and she gets mad at me anytime we get together and get on the phone because I always hit her with the Shantae's got a man.
Oh man.
Literally.
I love it.
Okay, so when y'all was touching on Brynn being flirty and stuff like that, no, I 100% agree with you because it's just like, as Jamie gave the example, like I have straight friends and like, I can make jokes and stuff at them, but I know not to go too far. Or even if you flip the situation and it's like you have some straight people that you be around that act gay, and then when you kind of hit them back with it, they're like, oh, whoa, wait. It's just like, bro, like just chill out. If you're not trying to go all the way there, then leave me alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know I'm here to drag Regina George and Brooke Logan. Y'all know I'm here to drag them because
come on, you better drag Jabberjaw. What did she say her name was? Jabberjaw.
Longjaw Silver.
Listen. When I tell you that tickled the hell out of me, I could not stop laughing at this. Because Erin tears, they couldn't move me even if I was a feather. Like, no, for real, y'all. Like the skills that white women have to flip a situation that they started. Let's be clear, that they started and be the ones who end up with the apology is incredible. And I wish I knew how they do it. Because I'm owed some apologies, honey, in my life. From a lot of people. Like,
Erin
seriously.
Is a dangerous woman.
Yes, like we heard Uba's apology, but several times actually, where she admitted where she was kind of a little wrong. But we still have not yet to hear Erin's apology, like holding her accountable for her actions and her still not seeing the fucking problem. Child, it's exhausting. And I'm just like, I can't do it. In the words of Beyonce, baby, Erin is playing the victim and the villain at the same time.
Yes, the victim and the villain at the same time.
Like, goodness, like if she held herself, if she held herself accountable with the same energy that she plays the victim with, oh, baby, we'd be okay. But
we'd be somewhere.
It's true, because we love a housewife that will stay a villain, and we love a housewife that will stay a victim. But you gotta stand in it.
Yes, you gotta pick a lane, pick a side, and stay on that.
Pick a side.
It don't work that way. You're trying to do both. Like, no, girl. And then you can't even do both right, even if you was trying to do both. So it's like,
it's like Kyle Richards. Perfect
and then,
example.
Oh my God, that's the Brooke Logan #1. Like, oh, don't even get me started on her. Like, let's just wait till Beverly Hills get there. Don't even get me, Jamie. You know we hate Kyle. Like, don't even get us started.
I do. Absolutely.
Don't even get me started on Kyle, honey. And
listen, everything you said is correct. It's, but Erin is one of those housewives that needs to be on the show because she's a source of contention for everybody at this point. So as much as I hate her, I hope she sticks around because I can't. Every single time someone gets in her ass, I chuckle a little bit.
Me too.
It adds a year to my life on, and she deserves it. And she absolutely deserves it.
And then another thing, the people who keep acting like they don't like drama and bullying are the ones that are targeting Jessal yet again. And Sai and Erin consistently talking negatively about that lady for no apparent reason. Meanwhile, Brynn and Jenna encouraged them. But when Erin was being confronted by Uba and Jessal, suddenly it's bullying. And Jenna and Sai just could not stand it. Like, there's a very clear pattern going on here. Listen,
I agree.
And
all right, WBCO. Well, thank you. Not study. Thank you for calling in. We got to wrap this up. We're at the top of the hour, but thank you so much for calling in, WBCO. We will talk next week because it's only going to get messier from here.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, all right. Well, that is our time for the night. To all of our people in the comments, Sean S., you had a lot of opinions on this. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We got Asia, Mademoiselle. We got Dreamer in here, Sass K. Who else we got? Kevin, Green Girl, Yeah, them people.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank y'all so much for joining the live. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. Don't forget to sign up for notifications so you know exactly what we got going on. We've got a litany of programs that are coming up. Our next live is going to be Salt Lake City, airing Wednesday night. We've got Lunch and Leans on Thursday. We're wrapping up the season of Love and Hip Hop still, I think. Part 2 of Bell Collective is coming on at some point. We've got Beverly Hills of Housewives coming up, Potomac. Like, you do not want to miss anything that we're doing. If you think that we're a mess, you need to come on to other franchises because it gets live. Shantae, Love, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. For the most part, we kind of saw eye to eye on a lot of things, and I love when that happens.
And you're the
So
host
thank
with
y'all
the
so
most,
much.
Jamie.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great night, and I will see y'all next week.
Bye.